Hello, welcome to a video where I'm going to showcase you some Master League battles. If you didn't see my last Master League video, I'll tell you again real quick. I'm hosting a Mega Master Tournament with a $300 prize at the moment. Might be even more depending on sponsors. And we're going to showcase some battlers in this tournament because there's a lot of really good battlers. And the players we're taking a look at, and please forgive me if I butcher up any of your names, if I'm not supposed to pronounce like GCB. Or Trogdor. I believe these two players know each other from the PGR group, which is why I asked them to record their battles, because I am evil like that. So yeah, we see the teams on the left and the right here. You are allowed to use some Mega Pokemon here. If you want to take a look at the meta, please check the previous video, because there's quite some talk about it. And both Pokemon took the Mega path here. Or sorry, both players have a big Mega Pokemon, that's what I want to say. GCB took the big Mega Pokemon, as we see here in Swampert, that I classified as a really busted Mega Pokemon. Only has one weakness really, and even Pokemon like Lugia or Dragonite still take a lot of damage from like Mega Swampert. On the right side, there's an all-around team with one Mega Pokemon, 3 big legendaries. I think this makes for a really nice matchup. I really like the Shadow Magnezone in this meta from GCB, but Excadrill, luckily not on Trogdor's team for him, is also the most common Pokemon in this meta. Now, let's take a look at how these battles go between these really good Master League players. We have on the left GCB, on the right Trogdor, and we have here Excadrill versus Mega Scissor. This is somewhat of a neutral matchup, I would say, in favor of the Mega Scissor, just because the moves come out a little bit quicker. However, I think this Duron does more than that non-step Night Slash here. We'll see now how the little mole man fares against this Mega Scissor. Actually does do a little bit more damage, but I think over time, with shields up, the Fury Cutters probably add up enough here that the Excadrill might lose this matchup. But let's take a look. I'm not too familiar with it. Obviously, you don't get to play with Mega Pokemon a lot in like Go Battle League formats. Like Great League is the most popular format, but some Master League is fun at times. A really good time from Trogdor there just before that move here. I think GCB tried to go for Rock Slide there, and I think it's really smart, just in case Trogdor tried to make a cheeky catch on like a Gyarados or a Lugia. Let's see. Brings in that Yveltal here, and this, I think, is just fine for Trogdor. I also see that second move, which I believe is Return. Sorry if I'm now exposing that all, Trogdor. First Nisus coming in, not going for that Return at all. Maybe doesn't want to reveal it, or is afraid that GCB throws a Dark Pulse before that, and then he loses all his energy. We also see Hurricane here from GCB. You are allowed to TM in this tournament, so I reckon that he TM'd it for this particular Pokemon, the White Florges. Which has a pretty good matchup here. It does have the Vine Whip, likely for the Mega Swamp from GCB. That makes the Florges a formidable opponent for the Mega Swampert. I'm kind of surprised by seeing GCB stay in this matchup, because this is not great for the Yveltal, but I guess he just wants to get like shields down. Throwing on alignment here, just wants to get his move off. And it does get shielded here. We see in the back from Trogdor, we see the Gyarados. Let's see, Moonblast coming in. I think a Disarming Voice may have done the job here, but looks like GCB is going to let that go. Moonblast takes out this Yveltal, and then there's the Swampert taking super effective damage from the Vine Whips here. Let's see what he shields here. He does shield that Moonblast. That is a decent shield. It would do a good chunk. And in the back now is the Waterfall Gyarados from Trogdor. Now, we know generally that Gyarados counters the Swampert pretty good, but we see here how much those Mega Hydro Cannons do. They do a lot of damage. 3, I think, is enough to KO this Gyarados. I'm not sure if Gyarados is going to clean up here. Yeah, the next one will KO. And, oh, is barely throwing that move here. I don't think this does as much damage, simply because Mega Swampert is really bulky. Yeah. GCB knows his matchup, just building up a little bit more energy, so he has some energy for that Florges, and I think that will win in game 1, because Florges has no energy. Very well played from GCB there. Just trying to keep one shield for that Swampert, and even in like its worst matchups, like Gyarados, I think that's the hardest answer Trogdor also has, right? The Gyarados. It still took that matchup, so very impressive play there. Let's see how Trogdor is going to adapt to this. Currently, the score is 1-0 for GCB, and that's a pretty bad lead for GCB. The Florges, and say switching into Excadrill is met by the Groudon. Groudon is really risky to bring here when you know Mega Swampert is always coming out. But looks like Trogdor is getting great alignment here. Going for that, I want to say Earthquake, but the moveset nowadays is Precipice Blades. Here it comes. Right, it's 5 energy less, and I think just about as efficient. Let's take a look here. Swampert probably coming back in. But Swampert does not take a Precipice Blades. Well, let's see. Throwing on the CMP, and this is big, because now Groudon cannot get off that Precipice Blades. I think the player for Trogdor may have been to take another Driron from the extra drill, because that you can farm up more energy and get your move off here. But maybe that will also leave you in farm down range. Hydro coming in, then going into the Shadow Magnezone, and in comes a move from Florges. This is resisted, but Shadow Magnezone is not bulky, so good shield by GxCxB in my opinion. This is kind of a core breaker now for Trogdor, because that Lugia doesn't do great here either. You need to get some HP off this Magnezone. The flying type charge moves that Lugia has are double resisted, right, on steel and electric. So this is actually huge for him. Going through it actually does way more damage than I thought. And the Dragon Tails are also resisted, but only single resisted. And with the bulk of Lugia, you might be able to pull this through. We also see Flash Cannon on GxCxB's side. I like that moveset. That definitely helps one-shotting. I'm not sure the one-shots definitely does massive damage, though, to Florges. Let's see how much this does. Does it get shielded? It does get shielded. I don't think it will KO, just barely. In comes the Mega Swampert again, and now you have some energy as the Lugia. But man, do 2 Hydro Cannons take out here? Lugia is really bulky, so let's take a look. First Hydro coming in. That's not gonna do enough. And in comes the Aeroblast. Now you have to throw 2 Wild Charges as a Magnezone. Let's see if he can do that. I think that GxCxB only has 1 Wild Charge left there. Yeah, only 1 Wild Charge, 1 HP. If the Swampert was able to take out the Lugia, then he probably would have had it. But this was a difficult situation from the start to the very end, really. Yeah, with the Magnezone core breaking there. Kind of tough. Score right now, 1-1. We see Mega Swampert every single time. Really risky call to bring the Groudon here, but it really paid off for Trogdor. Game number 3, let's take a look here. We have Magnezone into Groudon again. Bold pick from Trogdor, and going into... that's a Fairy Wind Florges instead of the Vine Whip. This is actually a pretty bad match for Florges, because Precipice Blaze does so much. Brings this Florges right into the red, and now sacrificing his Waterfall Gyarados that I wouldn't say it has no play against Magnezone. It's just not exactly perfect either. In fact, this might actually be what GxCxB wants, because now the Gyarados won't be on the Mega Swampert, and this is, I think, his best Mega Swampert answer. In fact, can you even Mudshot this down, maybe? Like, this Gyarados is really low. Maybe it's too ambitious. Perhaps you just want to sacrifice your Magnezone here. And it does... Oh, it doesn't get the Aqua 2 off. Just barely not. Because that one Waterfall is 3 turns for... And you need another turn to get your move off. But then you fainted 2 Sparks, unfortunately. Going into the Mega Swampert here. There are uneven shields. The timer's not up yet on Trogdor, however. So he has to stay in for a little bit. And he doesn't have his Gyarados anymore, so he doesn't have a proper answer here. I know that the Florges has super effective, double super effective Vine Whips, but man, that's only a non-stab fast move. Let's take a look here. The Vine Whips do add up, but so does the energy from Mega Swampert. Man, this thing is a menace. Yeah, first Hydro shielded is actually pretty big. Does an Earthquake KO with the Mudshot? I'm not sure. In comes the first Disarming Voice. Wouldn't do as much damage, but at this point I think you just want to do everything to preserve that Swampert, right? Because your Magnezone has nothing against that Groudon, absolutely nothing. First Hydro comes in, then is able to swap out because the timer was misaligned. Because GxCxB throws Hydro immediately into the Groudon that was stuck before, the timer is now misaligned, and Trogdor is still unable to go into Groudon. Yeah, even taking it out with this Wild Charge now. Now you definitely know it does the Mirror Shot. But it also means that Florges is no longer there to tackle the Swampert here. And now Groudon comes in. This is a great Wild Charge. It's not going to do much. However, he does debuff himself, so too much should actually take him out. And yeah, Swampert, as we saw before, wins the CMP here. Going to say GG's right away, but just waiting for the Hydro to come through. Maybe he realized he's recording battles for me. So that was this was a matchup from round 1, GxCxB versus Trogdor. 2 very good Master League players. Thank you guys for recording this. Thank you for playing, and viewers, I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one.